play.
So away we go for the semi-final.
Love. All. First service. (30) 15. (40) 15.
Well, Mrs. Corley getting a taste of the defensive quality of her young opponent there in that rally.
(30)
Well, the two-handed winner down the line on the 10th stroke of the rally.
First service.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Game to Mrs. Corley. Mrs. Corley leads by 1 game to love.
And what a good start to this match. Both these players come out fighting. There's no feeling out of the surface at all. And Evonne played a superb point at 30-15. Service was a bit short, but both players looking for an opportunity to make a move. And there's the short one from Evonne, which draws Tracy into the net. And a miss-hit high backhand volley. Evonne, Tracy defending now. And rather a high backhand passing shot, and then the easy overhead. But everything for Evonne flows so smoothly, doesn't it? From one shot to the next, and she positions herself so well. She reads the angles extremely well. And there's a picture of consistency. She's going to work really hard in this match. She'll cover all the court that she's asked to cover and more.
And dare I add, and not only consistency, but now hitting the ball so much harder than she did.
Yes, indeed.
Miss Austin to serve.
Love one.
Love 15. Love 30.
Really good drop shot there from Mrs. Corley, considering it was played from round about the baseline.
Fifteen, 30. All.
Oh, a lovely two-handed winner on the 12th stroke of the rally. I mentioned the length of strokes in the rally because, as Anne Jones was saying, they really have started awfully well. They're not feeling each other out. They're really going for shots.
Thirty, 40.
I think one might say that was rather a careless half volley on the forehand by Tracy Austin, and it gives her opponent break point.
One full. Game to Mrs. Corley. Mrs. Corley leads by 2 games to love.
And we saw on the last stroke but one of that rally the forehand that slices away and carries the player out into the doubles court, played by Mrs. Corley. 2-love then, first set.
Love. Love. love.
And a really exquisite lob there from Mrs. Corley.
Forty, 15. Game. Game to Mrs. Corley. Mrs. Corley leads by 3 games to love in the first set.
And Evonne is playing absolutely beautifully at the moment, producing all the touch shots necessary to disturb Tracy. This point where she's leading 30 love on her serve, beautiful deep serve. Tracy thumps it down the line and Evonne scurries across to get it. Again a short shot and in comes Tracy. Plays a volley which isn't angled enough and up goes the lob just over Tracy's head. And Evonne advancing up the court for any possible return. She really is producing some superb tennis this afternoon. Her weakness, of course, is the second serve. The first one is nice and deep, and the second one does sit up and invite the attack from her opponent. But while she's playing like this, she'll take a lot of stopping today. Well, Tracy needs to break the ice here. Love 3.
Out. 15, love. First service. Out. 30, love. Thirty, 15.
That's a great smash.
(40-15).
That was a severe rally for both girls there.
Game to Miss Austin. Mrs. Corley leads by 3-1 in the first set.
And in those first 3 games, which Mrs. Corley won, Miss Austin only won 5 points, which has held her serve now and should be well underway.
Love. Love.
The volley made comparatively easy by the lovely, perfectly placed backhand slice down the line, which had Miss Austin all over the place. Oh, that's a great shot.
30-15.
No.
40-15.
Superb rally by both girls, and how quickly Tracy Austin went from complete defense onto the attack. So much better at doing that nowadays.
Use.
Well, you won't often get two such good rallies in succession as that. That was lovely play again. So from 40-15 to deuce.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
Break point. Yes.
Game to Miss Austin. Mrs. Corley leads by 3-2.
Well, that really was a lovely game to watch. Most entertaining tennis, hard fought by both girls, but really entertaining. The ball being swung about all over the place, using every bit of inch of width and length of the court. Lovely, lovely stuff to watch. Well, then, I couldn't have wished for a better bit of rally play than that.
No, but it's interesting, isn't it, Dan, that Evonne, I think, produced her best tennis still in that last game, but Tracy's beginning to find the answers. She's beginning to defend well, and as you say, she turns from defence to attack so easily and quickly. And she produced that lovely drop shot to end that last game. Two-three, Tracy Austin serving.
Love, 15.
If Tracy Austin has a vulnerable wing, it is the forehand. Talking in comparative terms, of course, but that's the loose forehand there.
$15 all. $30-15.
But Tracy Austin rewarded by great anticipation there. Almost anyone would have thought that Mrs. Corley would have gone across the court, but she stayed down the line and put up the lob.
$30 all.
So this is a big point here. 3-2, 30 all. Lovely play.
$30-40.
So a break point for Mrs. Corley for a 4-2 lead. That must have been very close. It's being queried by Tracy Austin. It was 13th stroke of the rally. She looks across at the
Game to Mrs. Corley.
well, she's now looking at the footfall judge, but Mr. Maker, but
All right.
the crowd think all right. Yes.
Tracy rarely questions any
I'm
calls,
sorry.
and I think she must be
It
very
looks all
sure
right
that the
from here.
ball was out to query it.
Linesman is happy with your call.
But the umpire
Score
said
is
that the linesman's
4-2
happy,
to Mrs. Corley.
and he has the last say.
Absolutely correct procedure followed. The umpire, David Johnson, appealed to the baseline men. Are you sure of the call? Yes, he said. And the umpire confirms it, so it's 4-2.
$15 love. 30, love. Thirty, 15. Forty, 15. Forty, 30.
Well, not a very orthodox smash in the sense that she threw the racket head at the ball. It was a good round arm overhead shot, and it got the point.
Deuce.
40-15 to deuce.
Advantage, Mrs. Corley.
Another lovely rally, but wonderful anticipation again by the young American.
Deuce.
21-stroke rally. Exhausting rally, that.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
Rather, she hesitates. Mrs. Corley was going to play a volley, I think, and then hesitated, or meant to play the half volley, and of course paid the penalty. So break point for Miss Austin.
Deuce.
4-2 deuce first set in the semi-final.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
Forehand volley just a little too long. Break point for the second time.
First service. Deuce.
These girls are certainly playing near the lines, but not often you see Tracy Austin miss a half-court ball on the forehand like that. Deuce.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
So for the third time, break point.
Deuce.
Quite extraordinary, the difference in the power and the will that she attempts to hit her forehand with now. That really was meant to be an absolute outright winner. Just a little bit too long. So we're back again to deuce.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
Well, they've had 5 deuces, and this is the 4th break point. And this is an exhausting game for Mrs. Cawley. For both of them, in fact, but particularly for Mrs. Cawley. She's 28. No, it's too long.
Game. To Miss Austin. New balls, please. Mrs. Cawley leads by 4 games to 3 in the first set.
And Tracy Austin was extremely disappointed at that point for 4-2 that the call was out, and she momentarily lost her momentum. I feel that she was 15-40 down in the next game too before she turned round, but then the chin goes out and the determination shines through. She fought her way back into that game, hitting the lines all over the court and answering every variation of spin and every form of attack that Evonne Cawley could throw at her. It was such a punishing game and such a vital one for Tracy, that last one. 5 deuces. She eventually edged out.
And I was just thinking, of course, that Mrs. Cawley was at one time 40-15 in that game, wasn't she?
Yes, indeed, and couldn't quite finish off 1 or 2 of the volleys. 3-4, first set. Serving with the new balls, Tracy.
One could almost say we're in a semi-final. It's a battle royal here.
Love 15. Love 30. Fifteen, 30.
It was such a good forehand winner off what wasn't a bad drop shot. Tracy Austin got there in time to control herself and really place it well.
Fifteen, 40. Game to Mrs. Cawley. Mrs. Cawley leads by 5 games to 3.
And it's a long time since I've seen Mrs. Cawley playing with such consistency and such good concentration. Serving then for the set at 5-3.
Love 15.
It's out.
15 all. Fifteen 30.
Mm.
30 all.
Tracy Austin had a chance there because that service was short and it was a bouncing ball. It was a waist-high ball. 5-3, 30 all, first set.
First service. 40-30.
And that two-handed backhand that sailed out gives Mrs. Corley set point. That's it.
Game and first set to Mrs. Corley by 6-3.
And that was a 41-minute set and an exhausting set for both girls because they had so many long rallies, not merely long, but all over the court. And a most entertaining set, I must say. And let me repeat, if I may, that I haven't seen Mrs. Corley play as well as this, with such concentration and such consistency and such control on her comparatively weak forehand for a very long time. Anne, would you agree with that?
Certainly I would, Dan. She's really playing exceptionally well at the moment. I suppose the question is now, can she keep it up?
Yes.
Because Tracy is a very good player, she's very determined, she's very consistent, which means that Evonne all the time has to take the chances. She has to serve the wide one and go in occasionally, or stay back and then bring Tracy in with the short shot. Evonne's playing it exceptionally well at the moment. But for how long? The other thing is, too, that Evonne has played very many matches against Chris Lloyd, who is a similar player to Tracy. Not the same, because Tracy takes the ball earlier, but similar. So Evonne is used to playing these two-handed backhands.
Second set, Miss Austin to serve. Love. All. $30-15.
And it's quite incredible how Tracy Austin's net game has improved since last year. She had a smash there and finished off the point with a lovely forehand drive volley. It's too long.
30 all. $30. Miss Austin leads by 1 game to love in the second set.
And that was a vital game for Tracy Austin. She always seemed to have the last say in those rallies. And she needed to win that first game to hold her serve, to get her nose in front in this second set. And it shows too how much of the court that Evonne Cawley has to cover if she's going to win this match. That short chip that Tracy has to move in for, and then comes the lob, and Tracy at the moment doing all the scurrying. Lovely cross-court backhand, which is her favourite shot. The drop shot, which Evonne chases after and plays another superb lob from underneath the net. And a high backhand she has to play, and then all the way across the court for that forehand. It's unbelievable the amount of court both these girls are covering. Love one, second set.
Love.
Isn't that love 15 score? I think the score should have been called love 15. It's all right on the scoreboard.
Love 30.
Yes, the umpire has corrected himself now in love 30. What's so extraordinary about this game is that when they're driven outside the doubles lines, they're still counter-attacking instead of hoisting up a lob.
Out. 15-40.
2 break points for Miss Austin. And Mrs. Cawley really opening her shoulders to that service. Fastest service is produced all afternoon. Oh no.
Game to Miss Austin. Miss Austin leads by 2 games to love in the second set.
Only Evonne Cawley there having to try to master a lovely lob over her backhand side, but couldn't do it. 2 love, second set.
First service. Love for 15. Love 30. $15, 30.
And it's 30-15. 15-30 rather. It's out.
15, 40.
15-40, so 2 break points for Mrs. Corley to neutralize the breaking of her own service.
First service. Not up.
No, not up.
30, 40.
So it's still break point. 30-40.
Second service. Use.
15-40 to deuce, and there was a chance there for Mrs. Corley. Oh, that's a clever shot. That's a very clever shot indeed.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
That's the shot that normally embarrasses Mrs. Austin, being drawn out into the doubles court like that.
First service. Game for Miss Austin. Three games to love. Miss Austin leads in the second set. Mrs. Corley leads by 1 set to love.
Slowly gaining the ascendancy, I feel, in this second set. She seems to have the last say, and I feel too she's being aided by a few loose forehands from Evonne Corley. Always been a slight weakness of Evonne's game, but this drop shot that Tracy played here at deuce, she was 15-40 down, she struggled back to deuce. She's in a bit of trouble in this game. Evonne, there goes the short one that Evonne's been playing so beautifully to open up the court. And what more perfect answer than that could you have? It was simply unplayable. Evonne had no chance of either reading it or of getting to the ball. I think that, to me, Tracy looks a little more relaxed now, a little happier with the situation. It's
Sun isn't actually shining at the moment. It's a lovely bright light, and it really is a pleasant summer's day, and the girls couldn't really have better conditions than they've got now. But it's love 3, Mrs. Cawley serving.
Out. 15, love. All. First service. $15, 30. $15, 40.
Now that was rather a desperate attempt at a half volley pass.
$40. Wait, please. You pick that up, all right.
Few paper cups blowing about under the under the umpire's chair. Just a touch of wind in centre court.
Deuce.
It's one of the most efficient ways, if you can do it, of passing your opponent at the net, to volley past them. Deuce. That's wonderful play.
Advantage, Mrs. Cawley.
Mrs. Cawley in all sorts of trouble deep in her backhand corner on the defensive, but eventually turned around and won it by attacking tennis.
Deuce.
Really, some of these rallies are quite remarkable. They really are.
Advantage, Mrs. Corley.
And Mrs. Corley, with that deep volley, forcing Tracy Austin to counter-attack on the half volley, which she didn't want to do, of course, but had no time to do anything else. Advantage. Oh no.
Use.
What a fine smash from the youngster from between the service line and the baseline. Love 3, deuce, second set.
Advantage, Miss Austin.
So it's a break point.
Game to Miss Austin. 4 games to love. Miss Austin leads in the second set.
So she's had a great run in this second set. 2 breaks of service, of course, in the 4 games.
Love. All.
And Mrs. Corley is playing this game in almost a nonchalant manner. It may be that she's saving herself. She may not be trying absolutely all out to win this set. She's fallen out behind.
$15-30.
And that's the first double fault of the match.
First service.
Oh, well played, lovely play.
30-all.
Soon forgot about the double fault, didn't she? Came in with a very confident volley there. Well, that was a beautifully concealed and disguised backhand drop shot from Mrs. Corley, and yet Tracy Austin very, very nearly picked it up.
30-40.
In the excitement, they'd both forgotten the score and were on the wrong side of the in the wrong serving station. Break point.
Deuce.
It's a winner, I think. Now that was a remarkable piece of control of tennis.
Miss Austin.
She only gets 1 point for it, but my goodness, what a pass that was. So advantage server.
Deuce.
Yes, well out.
Advantage Miss Austin.
It's out.
Game to Miss Austin. Five games to love. Miss Austin leads in the second set.
And so
Mrs. Corley leads by 1 set to love.
Evonne Corley, I think she really gave it a go. She tried hard to win her service game to make it 1-3, but when that game had gone, she then, I think, decided she had no chance of winning this set, but she was going to use every piece of the court to make Tracy Austin work as hard as she could for her 5-0 lead. And here is one of the points. Tracy serving wide and Evonne going into the net. And look at that superb drop volley cross court of Evonne's, and how Tracy got to it, let alone played that incredible angle right across that court. It landed right on the line. It couldn't have been more perfect. And there, watching these two contestants, to the left, Mrs. Austin in the orange shirt, to her right, Robert Lansdorp, Tracy Austin's coach, and just behind Robert in the glasses, the familiar face of Roger Corley.
Not a bad player himself, and when he was in his teens, a very promising Kent youngster, Roger Corley. Noticed he was smoking a bit heavily there, though. So, Mrs. Corley serving love 5 down in the second set, having won the first, 6-3.
Love 15.
1-4 apiece now.
Love 30. First service. (15-30). (15-40).
So 2 set points for Tracy Austin.
Out. 30-40.
out. That's the set.
Game and second set. To Miss Austin by 6 games to love.
So as the score would indicate, Tracy Austin calling the tune all the time there.
Final set, Miss Austin to serve.
29 minutes that set. First set 6-3 to Mrs. Corley, 41 minutes. So off we go, final set in the semi-final.
Love. 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 Austin, first game, final set. New balls, please.
Well, and I would think that Mrs. Corley perhaps has found this match of a really tremendous pace and fatiguing match. She seemed to me to be a bit slower in that opening game of the final set, one that she would badly have wanted, of course.
Yes, well, having lost the whole of the 6 games in a row in the second set, she really needed a better start than that in the final set. She needs to re-establish some of her authority. Evonne played a long Avon circuit in the spring and then was unfortunately too ill to play in the Federation Cup and also in the French Championships. But she came back to Chichester and had a very long final with Chris Lloyd, which she eventually lost 7-5. So I think she can play a long match, but that match in Chichester was nowhere near as punishing as this one. And somewhere along the line, if Evonne wants to make an impression on this third set, she has to become considerably more mobile than she is at the moment.
Certainly don't think she can afford to get involved in really long, laborious rallies all over the court, do you?
No, she either has to go in herself or draw Tracy in. Love one, serving with the new balls, final set.
Oh, it's going a mile out.
15, love.
I think as soon as she played that miss-hit volley, I'm sure Mrs. Corley knew herself that the ball was flying out.
All. First service. $30-15.
And that slice backhand down the line has paid dividends to Mrs. Corley. One that fades away a little bit.
30 all.
Yes.
Thirty, 40.
I must admit the Tracy anticipation is quite unbelievable.
Deuce. First service.
Yes.
Advantage, Mrs. Corley.
Crowd responding very much indeed to anything that's well played by Mrs. Corley.
Game to Mrs. Corley. 1 game all, final set.
So a lovely lob volley to win the game for Mrs. Corley. 1 all, final set.
Love. Love.
The percentage of lobs that have been successful must be very, very high indeed. I think she's only missed 1 or 2.
Love.
It's well played.
Forty, 15. $30.
Well, some of the angles that these girls are getting on this court today are quite remarkable, and from really difficult positions. $40-30.
deuce.
So 40 love to deuce. 1 game more, final set.
Advantage, Mrs. Corley.
Break point for a 2-1 lead for Mrs. Corley.
Game to Mrs. Corley. 2 games to 1. Mrs. Corley leads. Final set.
And I was just thinking, Miss Austin was 40 love there and 1-all. One would have thought she would have taken the game 2-1. She lost the next 5 points. Now, we know she's got a marvellous temperament. Do you think that's going to worry her a little bit?
I'm not quite so surprised from Tracy's point of view in a way, Dan, as I am from Evonne's. After all, Evonne lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on the trot.
Yes.
And then to break that run of 7 games, she produced that superb lob volley, 1-all. And then in that game, she's love 40 down. She looks tired. She doesn't really look terribly interested in the game at all. And Tracy looks as though she's going on to win the game. And Tracy blinks, and the game's gone. Suddenly, the inspiration that Evonne finds is there. The volleys come back, the lobs come back, everything comes back, and you just never know when it's going to happen. And this, I think, is Tracy's problem. It's the unpredictability of Evonne that is the problem for Tracy. She's not sure, Tracy, whether Evonne's coming to the net, whether Evonne's going to stay back, whether she's going to play a drop shot, what she's going to do. So Tracy has to provide all the answers and then impose her own game. And that's tough to do.
I think there's no question, Anne, where the sympathies of the crowd lie.
None whatsoever. Such an intriguing battle.
Quiet, please.
2-1 then to Evonne with a break of serve. Final set.
$15 love. $15
Just a little bit surprised in that rally that Mrs. Corley didn't loft 1 or 2 balls to give herself time to recover and get a little breath.
$15-30.
Great service.
30-all.
And now, is Miss Austin going to hit another magnificent forehand return like she did on the previous point to that one? Well played.
$30-40.
So a break point to bring the score to 2-all.
Deuce. Advantage, Miss Austin.
Lovely winner that was.
Deuce.
She badly needs to hold her service here. She's already got a break, Mrs. Corley. Serve.
Advantage, Mrs. Corley. Game to Mrs. Corley. 3 games to 1. Mrs. Corley leads in the final set.
So now we have a chance to see what sort of character the American champion is made of. Seeded number 2 here, 1-3 down in the semi-final. Though with a temperament that is quite remarkable and speed of foot to match. 1-3.
Love 15. Love 30.
Oh, some gallant play by the youngster there, but a supreme bit of play by the Australian. Yes.
Fifteen, 30. Out. 15-40.
Now that was very unfortunate for Tracy Austin. That was a very bad bounce indeed, and at the last moment she had to dig it up and of course lost control. So it's 15-40, 2 break points.
Game to Mrs. Corley. 4 games to 1. Mrs. Corley leads. Final set.
And you're like me, you're sitting on the edge of the seat. This is a thriller, isn't it?
Yes, I am sitting on the edge of my seat. Tracy's in trouble now, I think. She doesn't know quite what to do, and in worrying about the fact that she doesn't know how to play this match, a few errors are creeping into her own game. She had the right idea, I think, the first point of that last game, to go to the net, try and take the initiative, but she missed the volley. The volley was sitting there and she missed it, and also she missed a forehand too in that last game. She's in a lot of trouble. Evonne, on the other hand, has really recovered the inspirational play of the first set. Just when it seemed as though it had all gone out of the window, there it was back again. Evonne has such beautiful touch on the volleys and such beautiful touch on the ground strokes with the short angles. Can she sustain the concentration she needs now? 4-1, final set.
Out. 15, love.
Oh,
15, all.
a very good deep lob from a very difficult position.
Fifteen, 30. You
couldn't get a more accurate winner than that, right on the line. 2 break points. Oh, that's a loose game.
Game to Miss Austin. Four games to 2. Mrs. Cawley leads in the final set.
Well, Mrs. Cawley, as they say in America, had the game rolling for her when she was leading 4-1, but she, an unhappy game there. But good play by the youngster. 2-4, final set.
Fifteen, love.
Out.
30, love.
Comes a surprise to the crowd, but quite definitely out. What a good service.
40, love. Game to Miss Austin. Four games to 3. Mrs. Cawley leads in the final set.
Well, Miss Austin had a round of 8 consecutive points there to bring the score to 3-4 when she was at one time 1-4 down.
Well, Dan, I think that shows what a great temperament she has. She's in there fighting all the time, and the first sign of any frailty from her opponent, she takes full advantage of it. What a difficult moment for her. 1-4 in the final set, and her dreams of winning Wimbledon fading fast. But she hangs in. And one mistake from Evonne Cawley, one missed overhead, as there was at that 1-4 game. And Tracy's there, and she doesn't make any mistakes. Given a second chance. It's never easy to play a match on someone else's terms. Evonne is calling the tune with all her delightful plays. But Tracy's hanging in there and waiting for the opportunity for the passing shots. So 4-3, remember, still one service break in her favour. Final set.
Love. All.
Someone has a photo camera.
She's concerned about the camera, the whirring camera at the back of the umpire chair. Lovely drive volley to win the point, 15-all.
To 15. To 15.
Great serving.
Game to Mrs. Cawley. 5 games to 3. Mrs. Cawley leads. Final set. Quiet, please.
So it's Tracy Austin serving to stay in the championship.
The 15, love. 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 Game to Miss Austin. 5 games to 4. Mrs. Corley leads in the final set.
And that surely must have been a very confidence-giving game to Miss Austin to win that one to love.
Yes, Dan, I noticed on that point at 30-15, I'm sorry, she was actually running for that stop volley before Evonne played it, and that just shows how keyed up she is, how alert she is, how the adrenaline's flowing. But I do feel that Tracy rather put herself off in the previous game, complaining about the cameras. I've been out there myself. The cameras do make a loud noise, but she just won the point for 15 all, and the momentum was all going with her, and I felt it was the wrong time to discuss the cameramen. It broke her concentration, and she lost the next 3 points and the game very quickly after that.
Well, a lot of anxiety up there. Tracy's mother on the left, Robert Lansdorp, her professional coach, in the middle, and with the glasses just putting his hand to his head, Roger Corley. And he must have his fingers crossed that his wife will hold this service game, I think. So 5-4, final set.
Love 15. Love 30.
And the Corley volley was just sufficiently good enough to wrong foot her opponent there, caused the loss of the lob. 15-30.
All.
No paid.
$30, 40.
Deadly two-handed drive volley there. So it's break point. Yes.
Deuce. Advantage, Mrs. Corley.
So it's match point for Mrs. Corley. That's it. She's won it.
set and match to Mrs. Corley. 6-3, love 6, 6-4.
So a magnificent victory for the Wimbledon champion of 1971. Come back with a 2-1 victory like that. 3 times runner-up, the last time in 76. Here she is again in the final. And I imagine you couldn't have a more popular finalist than the girl who's just pulled off this match after 1 hour and 47 minutes with one of the most grueling ladies' matches I've seen for a very long time. The first set was an absolute dream of a set. Then 6 games in a row, 7 games in a row actually for Little Austin. And then a final flourish by the Australian to pull off a great victory, seeded 4 against the seeded 2 player.